Hello there. My name is Andrew Rice, and I am challenging Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro for the Democratic nomination to represent the people of Connecticut's 3rd Congressional District in the upcoming midterm elections. Today, I want to share with all of you why I have decided to run. I want to fight for Medicare for all, I want to fight for education, and I want to fight for FDR's unrealized dream of an economic Bill of Rights with a focus on housing, given the affordability crisis that so many people here in Connecticut have been experiencing. And I want to pay for all of it by taxing the billionaires and by reducing corporate war spending so that we are using that money here at home for the working and middle class that desperately need our help. I also believe that we are in a fight against fascism, a fight that we are currently losing, and I believe that I am better equipped to lead that fight against fascism. Before I continue, I want to recognize Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro's distinguished career in Congress. When she was first elected 35 years ago, there were only 34 women serving, and so she has been a trailblazer for women. Her battle and survival from ovarian cancer has been an inspiration for millions of people, especially those who are also cancer survivors. She's been called a champion of women, of workers, of students, of families, for healthcare, for education, and for our environment, and she has routinely earned 70% or more of the vote because of those accolades. But in 2024, she only received 59% of the vote to an ex-convict Republican who had very little name recognition and only spent $300 on his campaign, and that should concern all of us. The Democratic Party has a 28% approval rating. We have seen lower and lower registration for our party, and people just don't have that same excitement that they once did for Democrats. Under my leadership, I believe that I can connect with these voters who have felt disenfranchised and abandoned by Democratic leadership and bring them back into the Democratic Party so that we can build a bigger coalition. For healthcare, I want to fight for Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All plan. The Lancet conducted a study that shows that taxpayers would save $450 billion over a 10-year period while guaranteeing high-quality healthcare to every American. 80% of Democrats support Medicare for All. Rosa DeLauro will only go as far as to support a public option, and to me, this is not good enough. Democrats must be fighting for Medicare for All so that people are no longer paying these high deductibles, these high premiums, and these high copays. For education, in 1992, Pell Grants could pay for 90% of students' tuition costs. Today, it is down to 60%, and our students are suffering from that burden. If elected to Congress, I want to double the Pell Grants. I want to expand eligibility so that more students can receive those grants, but I also want to retroactively reduce student loan interest rates to 1%. If we can give 1% to our banking system, we can do the same for our students and alleviate the student loan burden that they now carry. I also want to fight for the IDEA program. IDEA, or the Individuals with Disability in Education Act, is a federal program that is supposed to guarantee that the government will reimburse municipalities 40% for special education expenditures. Historically, it has only been able to provide 13% reimbursement, and that is a failure of the appropriations process. Currently, there is a bill in Congress called the Fully Fund IDEA Act, and out of all 5 of our congressional delegates here in Connecticut, only Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro has not co-sponsored that act. Last year alone, our district lost $51 million because IDEA has not been fully funded, and in the past 35 years, we have conservatively estimated that our district has lost $1.1 billion because of the failure of IDEA to be fully funded. When I speak to students and teachers and parents who are concerned that schools are outdated, that books are outdated, and that teachers are burdened, I wonder how much of this could have been prevented if we had had leadership fighting to fully fund the IDEA program. Property taxes are rising in part because we do not have enough funding for education. And so if I'm elected to Congress, I will fight to fully fund that IDEA program so that our teachers get the pay that they deserve and that our students get the education that they deserve. On fascism, ICE is a fascist paramilitary force that is conducting state-sanctioned violence, and I believe it needs to be abolished. Steve Bannon has said that he will use ICE to suppress the vote in the midterm elections. 75% of Democrats want to see ICE abolished. Rosa DeLauro has not committed to abolishing ICE, and she says that she does not intend to. Not only do I believe that we need to abolish ICE, but we need to hold any ICE agent and any administration accountable for their violation of our human rights and our constitutional rights, and they must be prosecuted. We must also replace ICE with a community-centered immigration system. We need to bring back the immigration and naturalization services, and that way we can have safety for our communities while remaining a beacon of hope for millions of immigrants who come to this country looking for a better life. I also believe that we cannot fight fascism if we are going to honor fascists and their rhetoric. Last year, Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro voted in favor of a resolution honoring the fascist Charlie Kirk as a courageous patriot. As a gay man, I do not think that there is anything courageous about saying that people like me should be stoned to death, or that women should be subservient to men and their husbands, or that anti-white sentiment has been financed by Jewish donors in our community. This is foul, offensive, and fascist rhetoric, and I believe that we can make the case of condemning political violence without honoring fascists and that rhetoric. Voters are also starting to question whether or not politicians and our leaders are fighting for them or if they're fighting on corporate interests. I'm a grassroots candidate. I refuse to take corporate donations. I refuse to take PAC donations because I want to guarantee that when I am making a vote in Congress, that voters are confident that I am making decisions based off of them and their needs and not based off of corporate interests. I will fight the billionaire oligarch class, I will fight the corporations, and I will fight the corporate imperial war machine that is destabilizing countries around the world, destabilizing our environment, and destabilizing our climate. It is time we use that money to fund programs that our citizens desperately need so that they can live and lead thriving lives that they all deserve in the wealthiest nation in the world. Many people have asked, why do I not run for lower office first? And I was surprised to learn that Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro did not hold elected office before running for Congress. Although I am inexperienced in politics, that does not make me incompetent. I have my master's in cellular and molecular biology. I have been a scientist for the past 15 years. For 12 years, I worked at Yale, 5 of them as a technician, 7 of them as a lab manager. And for the past 3 years, I was working as a scientific project manager at a small biotech nonprofit. I have conducted experiments, evaluated results, proposed solutions. I have built lab infrastructure from the ground up. I have worked with government agencies to ensure lab compliance, and I have managed teams of people. I've also been very active in the community with activism and volunteer work. I participate in court accompaniments to keep immigrants safe during their court appointments. I have done food recovery, and I've worked with the homeless to build mutual aid networks to better serve our homeless population. These are all skills that I can bring to Congress on day one. I also want to mention that if I were to be elected to Congress, I would be a trailblazer in my own way. Currently, there are only 13 LGBTQ+ members serving in Congress. Our community is under attack, especially our trans comrades, and I believe it would send a resounding message to the rest of the nation if Congress were to send an outspoken gay man who will always stand up for human rights and protect the most marginalized among us. Connecticut has never had an openly gay person serve on the federal level. And lastly, we're Democrats. We believe in choice, we believe in voice, and we believe in democracy. Trump does not believe in choice. He does not believe in democracy. He believes in loyalty. And as Democrats, a pillar of a healthy democracy is having dialogue, is having a debate, is having a discussion, but we cannot do that if we do not allow for a primary. In Connecticut's history, there has never been a primary for Congress. And this year, I'm hoping we change that. And so on May 11th, I am asking you to support me in getting ballot access for the upcoming August 11th primary. Giving me ballot access is not supporting me and my campaign. It is supporting and endorsing choice. It is endorsing democracy. It is standing up for people to have a voice. And so I'm asking, on May 11th, help me in getting ballot access so that on August 11th, for the first time in Connecticut's history, Democrats have a primary, Democrats have a choice, and if given that choice, I will deliver a message of building a better future together. Thank you.